The worst thing about like having to use cough drops is that you can't taste anything. Like I stopped at the gas station on the way here and I was like, you know what sounds really fucking good right now? A pickle.
A Big Red.
And so I
Are
picked
you
up a
pregnant?
pickle.
You know who says
pickle.
that?
Well, pickle juice is supposed to be good for you when you're sick. So I grabbed a pickle and I started eating it, except like my mouth is completely like
Devoid
sweet
of
and
sugar,
numbed.
yeah.
So the pickle just tasted like dirt and I was very sad.
I don't think pickle juice is good for you when you're sick. It's good for you when you have a cramp.
It's good for you when you're sick because it has
I think that's a
electrolytes in
rumor.
it.
Interesting.
Does it
Why
have
don't you just have
electrolytes? It has
Gatorade?
sodium in it.
You just have Gatorade.
I mean, Gatorade is also good for you.
Yeah,
when you're sick.
I drink
pickles has
Gatorade. I drink
electrolytes.
Gatorade quite a bit when I'm sick.
I think pickles just have a bunch of sodium, which is
Google
like
it.
electrolyte.
Don't
Yeah, Google it, asshole.
This is Twin Stick Radio, episode 60. I didn't look at that. For the week of March 14th of 2019. I'm one of your hosts, Trey Higgins, and I'm joined by Chris Rodriguez.
You know, if we were at all professional, we would have stopped, double checked, and then restarted. But
Yeah,
no thanks.
that's not how we roll
It's
here.
like 60.
And that
It's
other
fine.
voice you hear is Justin D. Lopez. I'll look
Hey,
it up
guys.
while you guys vamp.
Happy Pi Day.
What?
It's Pi Day.
That's how. Who decides what days it is?
Well, technically,
It is
like
episode
it's
60.
like PI Day, like math.
oh,
Pi
it's
Day.
happy 3.14. I don't even know.
Well, this
so-
year it's just 3.14. But
In this case, Chris, math decided what day it is.
3.1415926.
Oh, because it's March the 13th.
14th.
14th. I understand. I thought it was like Pi Day.
Right.
It's like I want to know who decides what days they are.
I think
which
today
days you
is
think are.
National Chip Day.
What?
And that has nothing to do with the date.
Well, that's then that's what I mean. Like I think one year we had National Batman Day 3 times, and I'm not kidding. I feel like that's a thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, National Chip Day is March 14th.
What
Man, why do I know this?
can somebody find a like if anybody knows or somebody
calendar?
make a calendar with
sure there is
all
one.
the days?
Yeah.
Because I need to know, and I want to know.
I bet every day is a thing.
And I want to know who decides what day. And I don't mean some like the basic white bitches that are like, oh my God, it's like Cappuccino Day. And then it just
Also,
gets added to the internet.
Shout out to all the basic white bitches.
Google called me out as gay because when I put national, the first thing that came up was National Coming Out Day. So
Oh, very good.
They were like, "We're way ahead of you, bud."
Nailed it.
Cappuccino Day is November 8th.
We
See,
missed
who
it.
decides that?
Basic white bitches, I
Yeah,
guess.
freaking some chick named Amber was all, oh my God.
I'm pretty
Yikes.
sure Pinterest decides it.
Well, that's
There
done.
you go.
That means I get no say because I'm not on Pinterest.
So we're on another short recording week because I got sick, if you can't tell. So do we want to try to blow through the news real quickly and then save some time to talk about division at the end?
Sure,
Or,
whatever you want to do, man.
Because we have some pretty meaty news stories this week.
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right, Chris, go ahead and read the
Hey,
news.
look at here. I'm back reading the news because Trey's all sick. Number
Whoa.
one. Wait, I don't know how many of their numbers are, so we're just going to count. Number one.
How many numbers there are?
The March 12th Anthem patch we discussed last week launched a few days early. However, during the period shortly after the patch, a loot bug similar to a previous bug occurred that rewarded players with a higher masterwork and legendary item drop rate. Within a day, within the day of the bug being identified, BioWare had fixed it, causing Anthem players to create a frenzy of posts across the internet and criticize Anthem's loot system and express a desire for the loot system to be more akin to the bug system. BioWare's head of live services, Chad Robertson, tweeted over the weekend, quote, "We are not yet fully happy with the game's loot behavior either. In the next few months, we're expecting to make significant changes, but we're starting with some incremental ones so we can better navigate that evolution. Our goal is to ensure the best possible player experience," end quote. As of March 11th, some players of Anthem had decided to stage a boycott that is supposed to last until March the 15th. The idea is that a low player count sends a stronger message than Reddit threads.
Oh man,
I'm telling you, man.
what a dumpster fire!
Yeah, we love the worst things ever.
That-
Maybe not love,
Right.
like a lot.
It's crazy how, like I said earlier, like going on the subreddit and just seeing post after post. It's like, BioWare, you need to do this. Like, you need to have weekly update posts. You need to be doing this and this, and like, here's how to fix your game. And the amount of like upvotes these things are getting,
Sure.
it's just insane.
And it's funny because most of the things that people are demanding on Reddit are things they're already doing. I mean, the game has been out for what, 4 weeks maybe total.
No, it'll be 3 weeks.
3 weeks, and we've already had 2 major patches.
On top of 2 or 3 other smaller patches.
Games like this don't have that sort of attention, especially when it comes to patches. So BioWare is doing everything right. It's just that we as a culture, we've talked about this before, are so I need it now. If I don't get it now, I'm not satisfied.
I think a little bit, though, the community feels like they can take advantage of BioWare's position.
Possibly.
I think BioWare definitely feels like an underdog.
Sure.
And they feel like they have to prove something. And
Sure.
the community, I think, knows that because it's an EA and BioWare game. And so I think that's part of the reason why their reaction is coming out that way. And, one guy posted on Reddit a really long post like, you need to communicate more. You need to learn from your mistakes. And he talked about Mass Effect Andromeda. And just like this bullet list of things that BioWare was screwing up. And one of the BioWare devs came back and replied
Jesse
to
Anderson.
it. Yep. And I don't think that post was fair, and I don't think that any developer should have to respond to that sort of criticism.
No, you 100% should not. However, he handled it extremely well.
He did, but I feel like they felt that they had to.
Sure.
When the reality was that no one was expecting that.
Sure.
Of them,
One of those points was why don't the developers talk to us like they talked to us before launch? And his complete and utter honest answer was because our developers are scared. Like they're scared of the death threats. They're scared of the freaking, go kill yourself. They're scared of the toxicity. So they've all been quiet, where before Anthem launched, when everybody was excited for this game, the developers were talking on Twitter and Reddit and everything. They were just communicating everything they could because they were excited for this game. Now we as a community have just basically shot so many gunshots at the developers. Now they can't do anything except for hide behind a bulletproof glass.
Right.
They can't communicate with us because every time they pop out, we're like, boom, ready for a headshot.
Well,
and it's sad, man.
It's like people are missing the biggest advantage of having these constantly updated games. Is like it can get better.
Sure.
Like what do you not get about
Sure,
that?
and Trey and I've talked about this extensively. We have on the podcast, and I still believe this game never should have come out the way it came out.
Right.
However, it came out. I paid $60 for it. I'm happy with it. I think it's a good game, and I've seen more developer feedback and patches than I ever saw with Destiny
or Division
or Division 1, sure. And so I have no reason to believe that this game is not going to get better within a month or two, where we had to wait years for Destiny to get better. You know what I mean? So, it's just sad, man. It's really sad that the internet. It's the internet. What do you expect, right? It's just really sad, man. It's sad to actually hear a developer tell their community, "Hey, we're fucking scared of you guys. That's why we're not talking to you."
Right. Well, it's like we're teetering that line of these games as a service of like, hey, we can update this and fix it to make it better for the players as an experience, and now players are sitting here using that to their advantage, like basically holding people hostage.
Sure, yeah, it's like a yes man,
and
right?
It's like you're supposed to. This is like it's a team effort.
Sure, yeah.
Like the people making this game want it to be good, just like the player wants it to be good.
Sure.
And yet it's you're trying to get something out of them.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The players will use their, I want this game to succeed to back up their toxicity. And it's like that's not you being toxic doesn't mean you want this game to succeed.
They'll be super negative about it, and then they'll end it with like, I want it to be good for you.
Yeah, okay.
You spent a lot of work on this, and
sure.
you should take pride in your work. It's like, no, you're still being an ass.
It's true.
Yeah.
Number 2, some scenes in Devil May Cry 5 appear to be censored for Western audiences because we're 12-year-olds. A video posted by YouTuber Naughty Gaming, naughty, shows a conclusion of a boss fight where a popular female protagonist falls naked out of the defeated enemy. In the Japanese version of the game, the scene briefly shows a digital version of the protagonist's butt. In the US PS4 version, the same scene covers up the butt with what is supposed to be a lens flare, but instead looks like a purple light bulb shoved up someone's ass. Oddly enough, the scene is not censored on Xbox or the PC versions of the game, but other scenes depicting nudity are, leading some fans to believe that this may be changed in a future patch.
Literally, it looks like someone shoved a purple light bulb up this person's ass.
Genius.
And it's like following it in a weird way.
Yeah, because that's better, right?
Yeah, sure. That's
Yeah.
much better. Why don't we just accept nudity? Why haven't we got there yet?
America's weird about nudity, man.
Dude, like, there's German commercials that just show women topless all the time.
Yeah.
I'm okay with this, but I get it from an artistic perspective, right? If somebody's eaten by some monster and the saliva's acid, of course the clothes are going to be gone.
Right.
It's like an artistic thing. Or it's not artistic.
Doesn't Mortal Kombat have a scene where you punch someone in the nuts and their nuts explode?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Like, why is that better?
because it's an X-ray. You don't actually see like the skin. You see inside the nuts.
But gore is fine. Like
Oh,
video
yeah, of
games,
course.
the gore
Of
is
course it is.
fine.
Yeah.
But nudity is
I
like
feel like the X-rays are worse though.
The X-rays are brutal.
The
but-
X-rays are way worse.
you might call
than
them
just,
brutalities.
Oh, good call. I don't think they. I don't. In the American eyes, I don't think they are. I think seeing a freaking boob and a nipple is worse than seeing the muscle underneath a boob and a nipple.
I just don't understand like why that's worse. Like that's something I've never like as the gay person in the room. Like they're just nipples, you know. Like whoa.
Sure.
I see this stuff all the time at work. It's just, it is what it is. Maybe I'm desensitized to it now.
I'm desensitized because I went to college and I'm 36.
That's
so,
fair.
It's fucking. You just. I just don't understand why we haven't evolved as a fucking country yet to accept nudity. It's fine. If you're keeping your kids safe, that's not a good thing. You want your kids to be freaking exposed to this shit. Semi early so they understand it. Not to the point where they're all, oh, I'm ready for an orgy when they're 11.
No, but like I agree that like treating it like it's
Taboo?
bad.
Yeah,
that
it's-
makes it like that.
it's
That
bad.
creates fear.
There's a reason millennials, like I could be misquoting something, but I'm fairly sure I read this on the internet.
Go for it.
More young millennials, 21 and under, are abstaining from sex. And when asked about it, they were just like, well, I just don't care or think about it. And it's like, how do you not care or think about sex when you're 21 years old?
They're lying.
Because they have
crazy.
to get off the internet and go meet someone.
Well, then that's it, right? They were either
As a millennial that
they were
hates meeting people.
They were either sheltered as kids,
Mm-hmm.
so much to the point where they just almost are afraid of sex, or that they just don't care. They don't. They like Trey said, I have to get off the internet if I want to go do that. Like, well, that's dumb, but it's sex. It feels good. You're supposed to do it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like
Your sanity literally depends on it.
with the rise of internet and online porn and everything, it's
Yeah.
like I'm sure that plays heavily into
Which is bad
that.
because I mean, are you talking about like masturbation? Because that's not not as healthy as sex.
Can we
Oh
take-
no, but I'm just saying like that's definitely like
Can we
that definitely
take-
plays into it.
Can we take like a quick like fucking left turn that I just suddenly remembered?
Sure. Do you want to talk about masturbation?
No.
Or porn.
Last week before we were recording the podcast, you guys were talking to each other, and one of you had said that Alex Jones was on Joe Rogan's podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like, "Oh, that sounds really interesting. Let me go listen to that." So I did. I went back and listened to it.
Oh, it's a trip.
I am
something.
I'm fully convinced that Alex Jones is not a bad person at all.
Sure.
He 100% believes everything that he says.
Sure.
And that he probably has an actual mental illness that should be diagnosed.
Sure.
Like, just listening to that podcast,
I believe the same thing about President Trump. Like literally the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I fully believe that man is either dementia or going crazy.
At one point, he's talking about how he has confirmed that astronauts are given heavy doses of drugs so that they can go communicate with the clockwork elves, who are evil elves that are deciding the state of our country. And that's why millennials aren't having sex or kids, because the clockwork elves want us to end our race by not having children.
I would like to think that's a metaphor for something, but he probably believes that.
Just literal.
Just literal. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Number 3, in a Reddit post, Respawn laid out some of its plans to combat cheating in Apex Legends. According to the studio, 355,000 players have been banned on PC thanks to the Easy Anti-Cheat. Thanks to Easy Anti-Cheat, not the Easy Anti-Cheat. I'm not that old. Respawn further explained that they will continue to ramp up its defense against cheating by working with experts in and outside of EA, adding a report feature and scaling up its anti-cheat team. They declined to go into further detail because they, quote, don't want them to see us coming, end quote.
That last sentence just makes it sound super badass.
I know,
Like,
seriously. We can't share a whole lot because we don't want to. It's classified.
Right. It's
If
SEAL Team
right,
6
If we
is
tell
who they
you,
hired.
if we tell you, we have to kill you.
Right.
That's pretty much the last sentence. Hey, yay, anti-cheating.
I mean, it seems like they're jumping on it a little bit faster than PUBG and Fortnite did, which was nice.
It's actually very good.
Yeah, it took everyone else a little bit a little bit longer to realize that cheating ruins your game.
By a little bit longer, you mean a lot longer.
Like a year.
Like Division 1 had cheating in it.
Oh.
Well, I don't think cheating ever got out of Division 1 because it was all...
You know something we did miss on here?
No, I don't. I didn't write the notes.
Battlefield 5 released a trailer for their Battle Royale mode.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, it was completely cinematic, but it looks kind of wacky and fun.
Is it going to be better than Call of Duty, though?
Maybe, but it's never going to outperform Apex or Fortnite because you have to pay for it.
Sure, but I think they have to outperform Call of Duty. If there's like a competition, right? They need to outperform
right,
that
like
game.
that's how they would judge their success.
Maybe, but I think it'll be really interesting to be in EA's office when that launches, and they see more people playing Apex than they do playing Battlefield 5.
Yeah. Well, it's two different things though, too, right? It's more the Apex is more of the hero type, battle royale, and this one's going to be very much just like a PUBG thing. Yeah.
Well, it looks like it's gonna be more. It's gonna have vehicles and stuff in it.
Ooh.
But I don't think that. Maybe I just have a low opinion of people that play battle royale games, but I don't suspect any of them really care about the nuanced differences between them.
Sure,
they just care about what the more popular one is at the moment,
which is
the one that costs the least amount of money.
Yeah, I always have that question: is like, what keeps you playing battle royale games? Like, how do you find this fun?
I think it's your friends.
I was going to say it's just the loop that you're in,
but I don't think it's a loop because there's no gain.
Loop as in your friends, like your circle.
Okay, I see. Because there's no gain in a battle royale other than the fact that you might win.
Well, I think there's a game there. How fun that game is.
No, gain.
Gain. Oh.
Gain.
None of us are hearing each
other.
other.
I think the gain for those games is the ability to unlock loot boxes that give you cool cosmetics.
Man, people are that. If that's the case, that's real bad.
I don't know, but you could make that same argument for Destiny, Division, and Anthem, where it's sort of you jump in and you are grinding for specific loot once you hit end game.
Sure, but there's a progression system there where you consistently see your character get more and more
powerful.
But
I could see how someone on the outside of that is like, why are you grinding hoping to get loot that does specific things when you could leave a session and not get that? Whether or not I agree with them isn't the issue.
Yeah.
But I could see people making that counter argument. But I think the thing that, at least in our circle, that keeps us coming back to certain games is the fact that you're playing whatever one of them.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it also just has to do with like what you're used to. Like battle royale games have been around for a while.
I don't mean any of that. It's more of I just don't understand how anybody sees a battle royale as like 8 hours of fun.
Yeah, yes, and
that's my point.
Well, and that's what I meant. Like, so for us, like a lot of us, kind of our age, grew up playing a different kind of game, a different variety of game.
Sure, yeah.
And now, like as younger generations are getting a bit older and playing games for the past 3 years or so, battle royale's been the thing. So now it's like that's just how games are. Like they don't think about games being different.
It really sucks.
Anyway, like you talk to a kid and you ask them about a game, and it's like their mind will instantly go to some sort of battle royale game.
Sure, yeah. Number 4, as reported by Variety, records obtained from the California Employment Development Department seem to indicate that 209 out of the 800 employees laid off by Activision Blizzard restructuring came from the Blizzard side of the company. Employees at various parts of the country, including Austin, Texas, and New York City, also appear to have been affected, along with the studio's California offices. These employees were given 60 days off compensation and benefits. 60 days of compensation and benefits. A lot of people.
So a quarter of those people were Blizzard employees. Feels really. I mean, I guess it's not a huge surprise when you think of the fact that they just closed down Heroes of the Storm.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And Diablo's not really. Well, Diablo 4 might be in development, but Diablo's very mobile centered right now. So they probably have.
You might say that.
They probably have that. The majority of the development's coming from that other company that's
working on the mobile game.
Whatever that other company was. I don't know. It's freaking China Storm.
I was going to say it's something like that.
Yeah. So I feel like Blizzard's. Maybe this is a little doomsaying, but to me it feels like Blizzard's turning into sort of a Valve, where it's like they're
what?
They're turning into sort of a Valve.
Oh, a Valve.
Yeah. Where it's like, hey, we have these.
This distance. It sounded like you said MALF. MALF. It's like, is that like a mom I'd like to Mom at Link's feet. What does that mean?
No, he actually said Alf. You know, like the
The
90s
alien
show. Yeah.
The alien. Sure, yeah.
But anyway, it seems like they're turning more into a digital, not necessarily a digital storefront, but it seems like more that they have a couple of products that they are promoting.
Sure.
And they really don't have anything else in development.
Sure.
And I'd really be curious to figure out why these companies are so scared to put out new games.
Because they don't need to. I mean, you got WoW as Blizzard. You got WoW and Overwatch. It's literally all you probably need for the rest of your life as a developer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but what do you lose by
And you
putting
got
out
WoW
a Diablo
Vanilla
3,
coming
which
out,
is
so-
going to sell like hotcakes, right?
I don't know, man. I
Like,
really don't know.
you know, Valve would rather focus on a storefront
Then make Half-Life.
than make Half-Life 3 or Portal 3 or Left 4 Dead 3.
Sure.
And it's like, but if you put out one of those games tomorrow, it would sell millions of copies because it's just
Sure.
what people want that.
Sure, it would sell millions of copies, but would it get to the point of how much money they're making off of like a store? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but how much of an inconvenience to their store operations would developing a game be?
Yeah,
It's
no,
just-
I
it's
don't, yeah, that's true.
hilarious.
I don't know. Number 5. Divinity Original Sin 2 developer Larian Studios has announced it will be providing players with a series of free DLC over the coming year via gift bags. Quote, not to be mistaken for loot boxes, parentheses, which are hard, ostensibly containing loot. Oh, you're just explaining what a loot box is.
Nope, that is a direct quote from their website.
Oh my
Which
goodness.
are hard.
Not to be mistaken for loot boxes, which are hard, ostensibly containing loot. Gift bags are soft and contain.
I just don't
gifts.
understand the parentheses.
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
This is them trying to make a joke.
Got it. Gift bags are soft and contain gifts. Each gift bag costs exactly no amount of money to players and will be patched in periodically to each platform, end quote. The first content pack is available now and features cosmetic items that can be used during character creation. The second pack, they say, is made up of items inspired by our modding community.
It's pretty neat.
That is kind of cool. Maybe a reason to go back to that game to make your characters look cooler at the beginning, because I thought character creation in that game sucked.
Character creation for me, like for the first, because we played first 2 acts?
Yeah,
At
something
least
like
the first
that.
one.
Yeah. We
Character
got
creation was
it.
like the most lacking
Yeah,
thing.
we got to Act 2, but the Scarecrows just fucked our shit up hard.
I thought that was after, because the boat and everything.
No, that was after Act 1. We got to Act 2, and,
Yeah,
the
those
Scarecrows fucked our shit up.
us up.
Yeah, hard.
That's
So bad that we just quit.
Yeah, it's
We
true.
did. We were like, hey, let's go take on the Scarecrows.
100%.
I don't want to do that anymore.
that's why I played a dragon. I felt like the dragons were the only guys that you could make look cool.
Yeah, maybe, but even then they didn't look like dragons. They just looked like giant lizards.
Yeah,
Or like
but they
snaky
still looked better
lizards.
than the humans with weird proportions or the
that's
elves
true.
that looked like fucking moss people.
That's true.
Right, yeah, the elves was like,
9
oh,
foot-
cool, I
9
got a
foot tall, yeah.
I got a legendary piece of armor. Let me put it on. Oh, it's leaves.
Yeah, pretty much.
More leaves.
Remember
Yep.
how Justin played a black elf?
Yep.
Dark elf, thank you.
No, he was pretty black. Like, dark elves are like an ashy skin. This dude was like black.
Well, you know, maybe with this DLC I can make him dark.
Maybe.
And not.
You could have made him dark before. You just decided on the
Moving on.
blackest of black.
Richard Garfield.
Number 6, Richard Garfield, the game designer behind Magic the Gathering and Valve's card game Artifact, says he has been laid off by Valve. In an interview with a fan site, Artibuff, Garfield said, quote, "We weren't surprised by the layoff considering how rocky the launch was. The team was enthusiastic about the game and were confident that they had a good product, but it became clear it wasn't going well. It wasn't going to be easy to get the game to where we wanted it." End quote. He went on to say that now that the game is launched, it makes a lot of sense for Valve to give the future of the game over to a smaller, more focused team, and that Valve also has maximized to most value from Garfield's contract company, Three Donkeys.
I usually just skip over my fuck ups
Jesus
like it's no
Christ.
big deal.
You
did
see-
not-
there's a thing where you can grammar and spell check.
I don't believe in spell check. I feel like that's giving up.
So instead, you just leave it like this, where sentences sort of make sense.
Yeah, no, it's a test of cleverness to see if I can overcome my
Got it.
typos.
It's an ongoing improv game
Well,
with
somebody
himself.
who did not type this cannot overcome. Anyway,
Yep. Who would have guessed that Artifact would be a failure?
I know, seriously. That's the one where they they announced it and there was an audible like, oh,
that
right,
one.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's that game, right?
Yeah, they're like, oh, we're gonna announce our new game by Valve, and everyone's getting really excited. It's like Artifact,
Yeah.
the Dota card game, and the crowd just
Went, oh, it was literally an aw. That's pretty funny. Number 7, Turtle Rock Studios. I always want to say Turtle Walk.
Turtle Walk?
Yeah,
Turtle
Turtle Walk. Turtle Rock Studios, the developers behind Evolve and the Left 4 Dead franchise, have announced that they're working in partnership with Warner Brothers. With Warner Brothers Interactive on a, quote, next-gen cooperative FPS entitled Back for Blood. And it's back, number 4, Blood.
like Left 4 Dead.
Right. Because we need to teach people that that is more acceptable than the word for.
It's shorter.
Right. Something of a spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead and its sequel, which were originally published by Valve. The game was announced via a news post on the Turtle Rock forums and will be, quote, designed from the ground up as an original premium title that marries the best of what we've made the co-op zombie shooter. The best of what made the co-op zombie shooter so successful with new features and state-of-the-art technology, end quote. According to a statement from WB Interactive's David Haddad and a short FAQ from Turtle Rock, this is very much not Left 4 Dead 3, rather a new gaming universe where you'll be able to shoot up a lot of zombies, like in Left 4 Dead, but there's a whole lot of new stuff and Black Blood, which makes it unique. Back 4 Blood.
I was like,
Yeah,
you totally.
yeah.
I was like, what are you doing?
Back Blood. You know. Yeah, same thing. I would love to see this new technology that's going to make the 4-player co-op shooter better.
Right.
I think it's really funny how he's like, this is really different than Left 4 Dead, where you shot zombies, but now you shoot zombies.
You're
Well,
going to shoot up a lot of zombies.
Well, it's also an odd choice to be like, this is totally not Left 4 Dead. Don't pay attention to the 4 in the title.
Yeah.
It's not Left 4 Dead.
You're not shooting zombies. You're shooting a lot of zombies.
I kind of feel bad for Turtle Rock, though.
Turtle Walk.
It's Turtle Walk.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad for them, though, because I feel like Left 4 Dead was probably their IP, and they sold it off to Valve to get it published,
Sure,
and now
yeah.
they don't have it anymore.
Turtle
and-
Rock did evolve, yeah.
Yep.
That
And
means
so,
that-
like,
that means
now
that-
they're, like, trying to reclaim this genre that
Sure.
they basically created.
Matt Colville still work for Turtle Rock?
No, he works for MCDM.
Oh, he does his own thing now.
Yeah.
Got it.
So, you know, I kind of feel bad for them. I think it always feels a little bit sad when you see a company like coming back and trying to reclaim their own IP through a new IP.
Right.
Sure.
Well, especially whenever they see their IP like not going
Yeah.
anywhere. It's like, oh, you guys aren't doing
It was,
anything
and
with that.
it's crazy that they didn't go anywhere because, it's Valve. Valve just stopped making games. It was a really successful game. It was a really, really successful game.
And I think they actually kind of still are. Like
Well,
people
I was
still
gonna-
play them.
I was going to say going back to working at GameStop. When did I quit GameStop? 2000,
15?
no.
Yeah.
It was longer than that.
No.
Green Records will be 2 years old. And,
We
maybe
started,
2014
We
or
started
15.
Twin Stick in 2015.
Okay, so yeah,
you would have
2014,
quit.
2015,
You
somewhere
would
in
have
there.
quit like late 2015 or mid 2015.
Okay, so about 4 years.
Yeah.
Anyway, even late into my GameStop career, people were still buying Left 4 Dead.
And it was
Like,
still a game that was really expensive.
yeah, it was. Yeah, I think the second one was about $30.
Yeah.
So on Xbox 360. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
on the PC community, it's still going strong.
Yeah. Well,
Or
it's
Left
a
4
good. I
Dead
mean,
2
it's a good game. The loop. Talking about gameplay loop is just really cool.
Also,
Just go in there and shoot zombies.
The director was a super cool idea for
Yeah.
having an AI manage a game. Like, depending on how well or poorly you did, it would adjust accordingly. It would also change up the map and change up the amount of enemies that would spawn in the area. It was a really, really neat idea that no one's really done anything with since then.
Number 8, Microsoft has confirmed Halo: The Master Chief Collection is officially coming to PC, and in addition to Valve's Steam distribution platform. The Halo Master Chief Collection is being touted as specifically built for the PC audience, including all the bells and whistles that come with the PC product. Quote, "We're going to roll out each of the games in the Master Chief Collection one by one. Steam for us is a new opportunity. We want to bring our games to players to the platforms of their choice," end quote. In what's quickly becoming a Halo anthology, Microsoft announced Halo: The Master Chief Collection will also be getting Halo Reach in the near future, bringing the total number of Halo games in the collection to 6.
It's very exciting.
Sure.
Been asking for it for a while. When I interviewed 343 at RTX in 2017, I asked them that. They were there showing off Halo Wars 2. I was like, hey, any chance you could bring Master Chief Collection to the PC? And they're like, oh, well, we're always looking for new ideas to do things. And
Was that a new
It
idea?
was your idea.
No, that was not a new idea.
It was his idea.
no, but I had asked them about it too, and they were like, oh, no, we don't know. So it seems like this is something they've had, and that was past the time of Play Anywhere. Play Anywhere, I think, started in 2016. So they've been cooking on it for a while. I hope that these ports are a little bit more than what their Play Anywhere stuff has been. I hope it's a little bit better of an experience. But
well, hopefully it works better too, because I had the Master Chief Collection on Xbox and
Was there online on this on Master Chief Collection?
Yeah.
on Xbox.
Yeah, like could you start up Halo 1 and then play Halo 1 online with
yeah,
8 people?
Master Chief Collection was kind of a clusterfuck when it came out because it didn't really work. I believe it came out in 2014, and it took them a pretty long time. I think only in the last year or so have they got it to a place where it's like been functional.
Yeah,
Sure.
It was very unstable.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So like if I got this and wanted to play Reach, I could go play SWAT in Reach.
Yeah.
I think so.
Wouldn't that divide your Halo community? Because you've got like Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, ODST, and Reach, all with an online element. So like, does that you know what I'm trying to say here?
Yeah,
Right.
but
Like,
I don't
it's-
know. Like, if you really want to play Halo Reach or Halo 4 or 3 or whatever, like, really the only two Halos that you can't play online right now are 1 and 2. Like,
I thought you said you could play one. Like,
removing the Master Chief Collection. In theory,
okay.
if you wanted to play Halo online, you could jump on a 360 and play 3, 4,
Sure,
ODST,
sure,
whatever.
sure. Yeah.
So I think I don't know. I mean, they also don't have a new product out right now. So does it divide their community? Yeah, but it keeps people playing Halo, which they probably wouldn't be doing if 5 was the only option, even though 5 is the best multiplayer.
I think they still would be doing. If people are going to play Halo, they're going to go out of their ways to play Halo. It's Halo, right? It's a franchise. It's old,
But I
especially
think-
these games. If you're still playing Halo Reach, you're actively trying to play Halo Reach. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I don't think that. I would be curious to see how many people are actually playing Halo on on Xbox.
Sure, I agree.
I think the
That'd be-
PC is going to be a big deal because this is the first time since Halo 2 that we've had a PC version of Halo. So I think it's going to be a really big deal for a while.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing. I don't think they're worried about splitting up the audience. I think they think it'll be such a success that it'll be possibly negligible. Like, oh, are you playing online Halo 3, ODST, or
And
what have you?
it seems like this could build up a lot of hype to releasing Halo 5 on PC.
Sure.
I thought it was really interesting that they didn't say anything about Halo 5. But I feel like if you have people playing these games for months, and suddenly you're like, here's Halo 5, and
Sure.
we're
Or-
reinvigorating
Well,
the Halo
and
tournament all
then
that.
rolling that into Halo Infinite or whatever.
Or even further, or to me, even further, releasing Microsoft titles on Steam would be great.
Yeah,
I think it would be great to not have to go through that Xbox store is just the dumbest store in the world. It's so cumbersome, and just when we had to do State of Decay, I think it took me 15 minutes to figure out how to even sign up for whatever the hell it was, and then finding the damn game is damn near impossible.
I didn't realize that the store was like
an app on your computer. Yeah, I had no fucking clue.
because I was trying to play. I think the first thing I tried playing was Sea of Thieves with Ev.
No,
And-
Sea of Thieves.
Sorry, Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
And I kept going to the website, and it was just like, yeah, you can purchase it, download it on your Xbox. I was like, I don't want it on Xbox. I want to download it here.
Right.
Took me forever
Yeah.
to figure it out.
Well,
That could be user error or an unintuitive UI, but at the same time, it's like I would like to see State of Decay, Thieves, all on Steam as well. There's no reason you can't release them there and the Microsoft Store.
Sure. I wonder, though, as far as I know, the Master Chief Collection is on Games Pass. So if that's on Games Pass, that means you should be able to just play the games with your Games Pass subscription through the
Yeah.
Microsoft Store.
Yeah.
So there's that too.
And last but not least, last week, prior to an Inside Xbox announcement that the collection will make its way to the PC game by game, a Halo Reddit thread was started with one fan saying they'd, quote, buy the first 343 employee that comments on this pizza if the Master Chief Collection on PC gets announced, end quote. After 343 community director Brian Gerard got involved with the thread, fully in support of receiving free pizza, fans that were elated by Tuesday's announcement decided to get on board and send a deluge of pizzas to 343 offices in Richmond, Washington. Gerard took to Twitter soon after the announcement saying, quote, "It has begun. Pizzas are actually showing up at the studio," end quote. He thanked at GameCheat13, a very happy Halo modder, for the pizza. After receiving multiple pizzas, including one with pineapple and jalapeno, that sounds great, Gerard continually implored fans to stop sending pizzas, saying, quote, "Please, we don't need more pizzas. Please, we don't need more pizza. We're good. And please don't send tons of pizzas," end quote. Ultimately, he put his foot down, saying, quote, "The Halo community is awesome. We're excited too. Please don't send any more pizzas to 343 Industries. The building receptionist isn't here, so it's getting logistically challenging, and we don't really want to see food go to waste," end quote. I would like to see how much pizza actually got there. Like, I need a number. I need a number to how many pizzas got to 343 Studios.
I would like to figure out how to get free pizza.
Just announce a Master Chief Collection.
I was going to say, it's simple. Just release a game on PC
Yeah.
that everyone's been waiting for.
Yeah.
If you guys like to send us free pizza, I'm down.
Just don't send us Domino's. Good God, Domino's is disgusting.
Hang on. This is a whole nother conversation.
Dude, we had Domino's last night, and all of us got, like, not sick, but, like, it was like toilet, like, oh my God, I can't stop pooping.
No,
Domino's is my favorite pizza.
Domino's is the worst pizza.
I used to...
How is Domino's your favorite pizza?
I have to leave.
There's places like fucking Inferno's.
Okay, this is different. We're not going... Okay, if I'm picking gourmet pizza, sure.
I would not call Inferno's gourmet pizza.
Okay,
it's like
but
calling
it's more
Valentino's gourmet pizza.
It's more gourmet than Domino's.
Which is why... And it's the same fucking price.
Domino's is great.
No, it's not.
I used to, like, not really like Pizza Hut. But, like, the older I get, the more I appreciate just a good pizza.
If I had to choose... I call it fast food pizza.
Right.
If I had to choose fast food pizza, I would go with Pizza Hut over anything else.
Man. How does it feel just to be wrong?
Well, that's the one that doesn't make me sick.
That's crazy. How do you feel about Little Caesars?
It still makes me sick every single time I have
But
it.
do you like it?
I
don't like it because it makes me sick.
That's
but
fine.
also, like,
I don't like Little Caesars. I can agree with you on that.
We worked at GameStop. The GameStop in San Marcos, and next door was a Little Caesars. And so it was one of those things where you'd go buy a Little Caesars pizza because it was $5 and you had like a 30-minute lunch break, and getting to a place to eat and getting back in 30 minutes was nearly impossible. And you would feel so gross. Like, I think part of my thing with Little Caesars now is mental, just because of the idea of like having to like stand there with fucking pizza sweats for
like
the next 4 hours.
I don't think I've ever had
pizza sweat,
fresh
gross.
Little Caesars. Like, I don't think fresh Little Caesars
We
ever
have.
exists.
I've had it. I've
It's
had
fine.
it before. It's not good.
But two, mentally, anytime I think of Little Caesars, it brings me back to a place of like, I'm volunteering somewhere that I don't want to be, and they're like, hey, we'll provide lunch, and it's always Little Caesars.
Here's the issue.
Every single time.
My favorite fast food pizza is Papa John's.
Here's the issue. We got this pizza yesterday, and it was hot. It came hot, which is great. But when you went to go pull the pizza off, the cheese still almost like crumbled.
Oh.
You just got a bad pizza.
No,
huh?
we didn't. There was 9 of them. We had because we had a bunch of kids here too, so we were feeding an entire group of.
Was it Domino's?
Yes. So and we would pull the pizza off, and like I said, it was hot. So there wasn't a matter of like, oh, the cheese is cooled. It was a hot pizza, but when we pulled it off, the cheese, like even chewing it, it wasn't the consistency of cheese. It was almost like crumbly. I think the cheese was made of cats, and
Wait,
that's
what?
why it's disgusting.
Hold on. The cheese was made of what?
Cats.
Like meow?
Yes.
Why
That's
is
the only because no other cheese in the all cheeses stretch
What
when
are you
they're
not
melted.
understanding? Cat
like-
cheese.
The only cheese I can think of cheese that probably hasn't been invented or is illegal, made from cats.
I think your dementia is taking full form.
It was disgusting, Justin. I'm
Man,
sorry.
I'm so
Because
sorry.
most people would say, I think it's just undercooked cheese. But you're like, no, it's cat cheese.
No, it wasn't undercooked though, because everything like the bottom of the pizza was semi-burnt. It was not kind of crisp. Even the thicker crust was kind of crispy. It wasn't undercooked in any way, shape, or form. But this cheese just wasn't cheese.
Man, I worked at Domino's, and I still like love Domino's.
Nope,
Man,
can't do it anymore.
the
Just not gonna do it.
the pan pizza.
Did it taste fine? Sure. But I'm not going with the taste fine over
Okay.
like having to sit on a toilet for 15 minutes.
Right.
That's you like
because of the-
most
because
of
of
the
the
time
cat
when you eat
cheese.
pizza, though.
Hey, you're
No,
lactose
it's not because
intolerant.
You are
I've-
like allergic to pizza.
I've had bosses.
lactose
I've had
intolerant.
bosses multiple times and been fine. I've always Valentino's has never made me sick, but Valentino's isn't around anymore. any place where you have to wear a gourmet pizza doesn't really make me
I'm
sick.
just saying, 90% of the time when a story starts with "last night I had pizza," it ends with "I sat on the toilet for 30 minutes."
Sure,
straight.
but
Maybe
that's
you're
only if
too
we
old
do
to have
fast food
pizza.
pizza. It's only fast food pizza. If we go to Boss's or Inferno's or New York Pizza Pub, never get sick.
That's weird.
Yep.
'Cause
It's just cat cheese, dude.
Yeah, I guess so.
telling
Because
you.
Domino's Pizza isn't like overly greasy or anything. Like,
You're right. This one wasn't that greasy, but cat cheese isn't greasy, so
yeah, it's the opposite.
yeah, exactly. It's kind of furry. That's why it doesn't stretch. It crumbles.
That's why I won't go to the Taco Bell that's on business or
This
it's-
the one
yeah, business
closest to us.
46. Yeah, because like I noticed, I don't know what it is, but sometimes you'll like get their cheese and it'll be cold, but it'll also be slightly melted. So it led me to believe that whatever they're storing their cheese in, whenever it's like sitting there on
It's
the
just
line,
it's just like room temperature at all points
yeah,
in time. Sure.
it's so you get
And
like
then-
slightly melted wet
Yeah,
cheese.
and then when they put it in their production line, they probably chill that, which is why it gets cold.
Yeah, so I refuse to go to that Taco Bell anymore because
Good call.
like just like that idea
call.
of the cheese being like that
Yep.
just ruins it for me.
I stopped going to this one just because two or three times in a row I got stale the crunchy tortilla things. What are those called? Crunchy taco shells. Thank you.
Tortilla to tortilla things.
tortilla things.
I discovered that Fuego has corn tortillas,
Yeah,
and their
they're
corn
good.
tortillas are amazing.
Yeah, they're really good. Mhm.
Yeah,
I always get corn tortillas when we go to Fuego.
I think I just don't pay attention to what you order.
I had a friend at work today realize that tortilla chips were made from tortillas.
Unbelievable.
He was watching a video.
You guys watch way too much porn at work.
Right.
If that's where
He was
you get
watching a
to.
video of them making tortillas, and he was like, I just realized.
You've got to be kidding me. That's a real story?
Yes.
This guy literally realized tortilla chips
are made
on
from
the bag.
are made from tortillas. He's like, I've just never thought about it. He's from Tennessee, so he's
that
he's
doesn't make a damn
you
bit
don't
of
need to
difference.
think about it.
You
Right.
don't. It
It's
literally
in the name.
tells you exactly what they are.
Hey man, you're telling me we roasted him hard.
That's unbelievable. That's like saying, "Oh man, I didn't realize pepperoni pizza had actual pepperoni on it."
It's like
It's
what color is
amazing.
what color is a red fire truck?
No idea it was red.
Blue.
You know,
Hey, there's a little bit of rumor mill. Do you want to talk about it real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so here we go. Super rumor. I didn't write any of this. I just wrote it down super quick.
Super rumor.
Apparently, some marketer or some crazy off-the-wall marketing websites are saying that Sony is in talks to buy Take-Two. Trade read up on this a little bit.
Yeah,
Most of it's probably bullshit, but
Basically-
but of course the internet.
Someone
just
from
ran
IGN
with it.
ran with it.
someone from IGN went and talked to a market expert, and they basically said like this is probably unlikely, but the rumor did make Take-Two stock jump up by a small percentage.
Interesting.
Yeah, their main reason was like the amount of money this would cost is just ridiculous. It's not worth it.
An insane amount of money.
Because if you look at Take-Two as a company, they own all of Rockstar's IPs. They own NBA 2K, WWE,
Yep.
all these different like gaming franchises that are worth millions of dollars.
That are extremely successful games. I
Yeah.
don't think Take-Two doesn't have a non-successful game franchise.
Yeah. So I didn't put it in my news initially because I was like, this kind of seems a little bit ridiculous. I kind of, as someone who loves Sony, like I think it would be really cool to have a Rockstar that works under Sony.
My God.
But-
Can you imagine the payday for fucking Take-Two from that?
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It would be in the billions.
Yeah. Maybe it would like fast lane GTA 6.
maybe
Probably not.
That was one of my favorite rumor headlines that spun off of this that I saw on Reddit. That someone was like, imagine how pissed off Xbox users are going to be when the next GTA is a PlayStation exclusive. I was like,
I don't think
You're an
Sony
idiot.
I don't think Sony would be that if this was real. I don't think Sony would be dumb enough to make every Take-Two game an exclusive.
I don't
thing.
I don't think
I don't
Rockstar
think-
would. I mean, why would you limit yourself to just one?
It's not up to
console.
Rockstar.
Well, true,
it's
but
up
But
to
also,
Sony.
I think Microsoft wouldn't do that because they've already proven with Minecraft that they're not going to make that an
Oh my
exclusive.
God! New rumor: there's a bidding war between Sony and Microsoft for Take-Two.
I think Sony
Confirmed here.
I think Sony would 1,000,000% put GTA as a PlayStation exclusive.
I think that would be the dumbest thing in the world.
I'd be very surprised by that.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but like they might publish it on PC because the PC versions have been so successful.
Sure.
But I don't. I think that is Sony's just that kind of company.
Sure.
Like Microsoft is obviously.
Yeah, you're not
proven
wrong.
that-
Sony's a fucking douchebag when it comes to
Yeah.
video game shit. Yeah, you're 100% right.
Yeah, Microsoft has proven that they're willing to publish whatever they can on anything. They'll
100%
publish on
right.
a calculator if the calculator will let
Yep,
them.
you're 100%
But
right.
Sony is so stingy with their IP. I don't see them
Microsoft play
spending
anywhere,
this much money and then
literally
being
anywhere.
like, oh, there you go. GTA can also be on Xbox.
Yeah, on a scale of, or like on a percentage scale, I'd say this is like a 20% true rumor.
Of them acquiring
Yeah,
Take-Two.
I just don't think that's a. I don't even know how it got started. To be honest with you, I don't even know who in their right mind would even think about starting something like this. Just I don't understand it. And last but not least, we put it in rumor mill because it happened a couple days ago, but it seems so much less of a rumor and more of a tease. But Gearbox tweeted out a picture in the style of Borderlands, a highway exit sign in a desert landscape says Exit 3, March 28th, which is the second day of PAX. So we may be looking at a Borderlands 3 reveal coming up in a couple weeks.
Or as you said earlier, they're hiring now.
Or they're announcing that they're hiring
We're
for
ready to
Borderlands 3 again.
start working on
Yeah.
Borderlands 3 again.
I think, again, percentage, I'd say this is like an 80% chance that we're going to see Borderlands 3 at PAX.
See it in what capacity?
It just as a reveal. Here's Borderlands 3. Here's our first 4 Vault Dwellers. It's probably...
Vault Dwellers?
Yeah, is that... I'm sorry. Vault Hunters. Here's
That
our
was
first...
like no one else cares about that, but
Yeah.
it was just really funny.
Yeah,
For
here's our
nerds
first.
to
Here's
make
our
fun of the
first
other
4
nerd.
Vault Dwellers. I would very much like to see those initial rumors we talked about before be true because I think those Vault Dwellers were Vault Hunters were super fucking cool looking, and their descriptions sounded on par but different. Right?
Were those was that
It was the Beast Tamer one where you had like a little beast thing. The agent seemed like a sniper, but had like this really. It's different than Mordecai and Zero.
Were those leaks for Borderlands 3 or was it like a?
No, those were leaks for Borderlands.
Okay.
Hopefully, I would like this to come true because if this isn't a Borderlands 3 reveal, I'd say you could probably kiss Gearbox goodbye as a company. Like, I'm serious.
I can't imagine what else it would be. You know,
Them hiring for Borderlands 3 because they did this
Battleborn
fucking
2?
Battleborn 2 because they did this fucking 4 years ago at PAX when they're like Borderlands 3 announcement, and then they freaking hey, we're hiring for Borderlands 3.
this could be you.
And then then it's like, but in the meantime, we're working on this really cool game called Battleborn that's gonna fail in less than 6 months after it came out.
Yeah, I mean, I guess technically it could be like a Borderlands VR thing again.
Borderlands VR is already a thing.
No, I meant like again.
Sure, it could also be a freaking, like you said, Battleborn 2 with Borderlands characters. I don't know. It could be anything. However,
We brought back Telltale.
however, if Gearbox is smart, they would fucking announce Borderlands 3 and stop
Jerking
pulling,
everyone off.
Yeah, stop pulling the fucking Pitchford because that's Gearbox is dead if they don't. I think they are at least.
I think they've been surviving by publishing, and so I think they'll be okay. But how long do you go between making a game and before you're just like out of like you're rusty and you have nothing to contribute anymore, right?
Sure.
Like
Who are we asking? Like Valve?
Yeah,
Or-
I mean the other like high percentage chance of this being a thing is that card deck based first person shooter that they had been talking about for the last year or so.
I always forget about you. Hold on to that so hard.
That's because it's the stupidest fucking thing in the world.
I always forget about it, and then you have it there like a mom whose
It's just
son
the-
became a poli-sci major
It's
instead of
just
an
the-
economics major.
It's just the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard of. We're gonna make a first person shooter, but our combat's gonna be based around a card based battle system.
You know,
What?
Sometimes you got to be inventive.
No, you don't.
Step outside the card box.
Whatever. I think it's dumb. Hey, that's our news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that. We made it through there in maybe like 30 minutes. It's pretty good.
Or awesome.
Yeah.
Chris, you want to talk about Division?
Sure.
We got 30 minutes to fill.
Nobody's played Division.
Not
Other
sorry.
than the beta.
None of us had $130 to
It was
drop
only
on.
$100.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
No.
did you have the $100?
No.
Shut your mouth.
Are you even gonna buy it?
Division? I mean, seeing as Anthem is dead, apparently.
Anthem's not dead. Anthem's gonna survive.
According to the internet,
Anthem will be
Anthem's dead.
Anthem will be just fine. Hey man, Division's really good. It's really really good. On the outset, like I was thinking about this today. I was like, what am I going to talk about Division? I'm only level like 6, but on the outset, like I've probably put maybe 8 hours into this game, and you would think that's like, wow, that's really slow, right? 8 hours of play and you're only level 6. However, there's so much fucking shit to explore in Division 2 that's the reason I'm not leveling, because I haven't even touched main missions or side missions and shit like that. And that's how you get your.
You're
main
just
XP.
exploring.
Yeah,
DC. Basically.
it's really fucking good. I honestly don't know what else to say. We talked about this with the beta. They learned from their previous mistakes, and they just fucking shower you in loot. And it seems like every single time I get something new, it's a decision of, especially in early game, it's a decision of, oh well, that little arrow, the green arrow goes up, that means it's good, but I lose 5% headshot damage. It's like, oh, I don't know if I want to lose that 5% headshot damage.
Yeah, it's all based around your play
Yeah,
style.
or
exactly.
maybe I don't want to lose the skill power because I use the turret and a healing chem launcher. Like that extra skill power makes me get one more bar of armor back, and if I lose that one bar of armor could be bad, or as opposed to like maybe a 20% health bump, which is better. You know what I mean? And so this game very much showers you in loot, which is amazing because you've got games like coming off of a game like Destiny and Anthem that are loot stingy. It's really, really nice knowing that after every single engagement, you're going to come away with something. Something that's good for you, or something that's more powerful, or something that's going to change your play style. I think Division 1 did this really well, but it was shadowed by the bullet sponginess of the characters, of the enemies. But I think in this game, every single person is going to have a different style of play based around weapons. So like, I really like assault rifles, but I like assault rifles with high stability, low damage.
Right.
Where somebody else could be really good at controlling that recoil. So they're going to go with high damage, low stability. And that's okay. That doesn't make their gun better than mine. We both might have the exact same DPS based because I'm just better with this gun. You know what I mean? And I really like that about the Division. Like I said, I think the Division 1 did it really well, and Division 2 even nailed it even more, is that different types of play styles are going to come about more so than a meta. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think YouTubers and Twitch streamers are going to find the meta, of course. I think it's already been found. But because there's already people at in-game, which is unbelievable to me. I think one of the big Division YouTubers hit level 30 the day after it came out. Came out on Tuesday, and he hit level 30 the day after.
Jesus.
And it's just and I tweeted it out. Like, I watched his video, and he almost had nothing but semi-criticized negative things to say about the Division.
It's usually how it goes.
Sure, but the point is that he talked about is like, I don't think the story's very good. I don't think there's anything keeping you engaged, blah, 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 blah. But after he said all that, he's like, but I also skipped most of the story scenes. It's like,
right.
Well,
that's what I was going to say. Is like you finished it in like a
if
like
you're not
day.
if you're not gonna engage in the story, then you don't get to criticize the story. That's like fucking going and watching Avengers and saying, oh, I didn't really like it, and you spent most of your time outside at the bar drinking.
Or you
It's
fell
like,
asleep. Like,
yeah, it's like you don't get to freaking criticize something that you didn't actually engage with. He was also saying that Endgame right now feels shallow. It's like, it doesn't feel shallow. You just had your friends around you feeding you fucking gear score, and you ended up glitching the game and like locking himself out of progressing because they're finding exploits and finding ways around. And they basically, all these YouTube videos I see on Division 2 in the last 2 days are literally instructional videos on how not to play Division.
Right. Well, and that's something I hate about people who play games like that is like, you're not playing the game. It's meant like the way it's meant to be played.
Yeah, play it
because like if you want the game to be if you want everyone to play the game like that, you're going to end up with something like Destiny,
Sure.
where it's like, okay, like people want it to basically only be enjoyable if you're able to put
8 hours of time into it every day.
exactly.
Sure, yeah.
And it's like that's not like you're not the average consumer, and you have to realize that.
Yeah. So, anyway, like other than all that, I think it's great. I think the story's cool. I was always really invested in the story of Division. I just think it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I like weird, crazy. I'm not a fan of all Tom Clancy stuff, but I like the crazy Tom Clancy shit. And this one's pretty crazy with the dollar flu in New York, and now Division 2 takes place 6 months after the dollar flu outbreak in New York in Washington D.C. The virus has spread all across America, and I think they said half the population has been wiped out. So you're an agent that gets sent to D.C. on a distress call from the White House, and you end up in D.C. and trying to liberate D.C., which is really cool. Like I said, I'm only like level 6. I'm not even anywhere close to end game, so I can't talk about that at all.
Right.
But
So a lot of people like online are making the obvious correlation or comparison between this and Anthem, just what they're doing right versus like what
sure,
Anthem's
yeah.
doing wrong.
I mean, like I
is
said,
that
there's-
affecting like how you're feeling about this game? Like, do you feel like this is pulling you more towards Division than Anthem, or do you still?
Do you mean like which one am I going to play more?
Sure,
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to play Division more because there's more substance there.
right, and you've already kind of beaten Anthem for the most part, anyways.
Yeah, to an extent. I haven't though, because you play looter shooters for the loot, and I think my Storm is the only thing I have masterworked, and so there's still plenty of time. There's still plenty of things to do in Anthem for all the javelins. Because I enjoy,
but
playing
not just
all of
but
them.
not just like new content though. You'll
No,
be doing the
yeah.
same content, getting new loot.
Sure,
but,
yeah. But Anthem's always, and like, you know, the last patch, Anthem added new masterwork components. Like I think next month they're definitely adding another stronghold and all this. There's plenty of shit coming. But from a substance thing, I think Division's going to hook more people just because there's so much shit to do.
Right. That was something I noticed whenever we played the beta, just for that weekend.
Yeah,
it
I mean,
it was super fun.
Sure, but we played 2 missions back to back. One at level 6, one at level 30, and we went through the same exact mission, but it was 1,000% different because of the loadouts we had and because it was a completely different enemy faction.
Right.
And you were doing 2 different objectives.
Yeah, and the
same
bi-
exact mission, but 2 vastly different things.
And the beta was so, like, at least for me, there weren't glaring problems with it that I was like, man, I hope they fix this before release, you know? So that's, I don't know, that's just something that you don't see too often.
I would say this is probably the smoothest launch out of a looter shooter in the last 5 years, to be completely honest. I remember, because if I'm not mistaken, Trey might be able to correct me, but Destiny 2 had a semi-rocky launch. Wasn't terrible, but
Destiny
like
2 was pretty smooth. It
no,
just that-
with the disconnects and shit. Like there's
No.
quite a bit of like the guitar and bamboo errors.
The first days were kind of rough because you had to wait in queues.
Sure,
But disconnects weren't bad.
I thought I remember disconnects.
Destiny
being
1
bad.
had really bad disconnect
Yeah,
issues.
But yeah, this is as smooth as a launch could possibly go. There's been 1 maintenance, which is nice. There was a hot fix today, so they're on it. They're fixing shit. There was a loot exploit found 2 days. There was a loot exploit found yesterday, fixed last night. So they're taking that Bioware route where they're fixing shit as soon as it pops up, which is really, really good. I guess any criticisms in 6 levels of play, 8 hours, it's hard. Like sometimes it can be really, really hard, and I think that's going to turn players off.
Is it hard because you're playing by yourself?
No,
or?
it's hard because this game really, really forces you to not play like a normal shooter. It forces you to consider positioning. It forces you to consider what skills you're taking as a solo and or group player. It's forcing you to consider and think tactically, because the enemy AI, we've talked about this in the beta, the enemy AI in this game is pretty smart. Like it's probably the smartest we've seen in a long time in a shooter. Side note, one of the YouTubers says like the enemy AI is good, but it's not as good as Destiny. It's like enemy AI in Destiny is just it's non-existent. They sit there and they let you shoot them, and then they shoot back, and that's all Destiny is. It's like this game, these guys legitimately try to flank you. They are smart because there'll be times like when a grenader's chunking a grenade you can see the grenade coming, and if you can move without them seeing you move, the grenade's going to go to the same spot until you shoot, and then they're going to throw the grenade to where you are.
Right.
It's really smart in this game, and it's a lot of fun, but it makes it like if you play this game like you were to play Anthem or Division or Destiny or any first-person game, you're going to get annihilated.
Right. Even you touched on the flanking too. I noticed in the beta, there's times where an enemy AI will be flanking, and as that's happening, there's an AI like basically even giving them like cover fire.
Sure, yeah, 100%.
Like it's insane the stuff that it does.
And
It feels like you're playing against real people.
Yeah, and so I think that's going to turn players off because the what Anthem and Destiny do extremely well is the power feeling, the
Right.
power fantasy,
making you just feel like just a total badass.
I don't think they do that in Division. However, if you play Division correctly, you still get it. It's just a matter of changing the way you play these games. You cannot run in with guns blazing badass. It's one of those things that's like, here, work your way around, I'll cover fire, blah, 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 blah.
I think that's
all
so
this
much
other
cooler.
shit.
Like
I think it is
being
too.
a tactical badass.
I think it is too.
Oh,
Personally, I think it is too.
Yeah.
There's some skills in this game that just are useless. The pulse is 100% useless in this game anymore. I think let's see, criticism. There's not a lot.
not yet.
It's a pretty fucking game. Yeah, I'm only 8 hours in. It's a really pretty game. I've had some random host disconnects, but it's a freaking two days in the launch of the game. Not a big deal. I don't know, man. It's hard to find any criticisms right now. Give me 20 hours in this game, and I'll probably have some. Like,
right. We'll see what you say next week, and then
yeah, exactly. You know, Destiny, it was
once
all,
you've beaten it and masterworked it. And,
yeah, Destiny, it was all shits and giggles until we realized it's going to take 19,000 hours to fucking level up. Anthem, I mean, you just knew it was a shit show from the beginning because of everything. But this game is like, I don't see any yet. Some weird bugs where, like, you know, I'll shoot and there's a host delay. So, like, I'll be shooting and then it's like, what's happening? And all of a sudden everything's dead. And it's like, oh, well, okay. There's just a weird lag, host
little
lag.
glitch in the matrix.
Yeah.
Nothing to worry about.
But I'll have a lot more. Plus, I'm sure this weekend we'll play co-op. You know, because that's the best way to play this game. I'm having a shit ton of fun solo, but it's way more fun to play it with a group.
Yeah.
However, I do see one thing: playing in co-op. Of course, you want to play this game co-op, right? However, I think playing with a group of people is going to stifle your exploration because as a solo player, it's one of those things that's like, oh, here's a look, because you should look in every nook and cranny, because I'm always finding loot. There's always a container to open. There's always a gun case laying around. By the way, who just leaves gun cases all around Washington, D.C.? I don't understand.
Literally everyone in DC,
I don't
according to this
understand
game.
But there's always another corner to turn that's going to lead you off the path. And in a group, I think that's going to be really hard. There's 4 people. You know, one person's always like, okay, let's go do this thing. And then the next thing you know, 2 seconds later, you're one side of the city, I'm one side, because we both went off on 2 divergent paths. I think the exploration portion of this game should really be contained as single player, which isn't bad. I think playing in a group is really going to hinder that. It's kind of the same concept that Trey doesn't really like doing brand new Destiny stuff with people because we're all talking.
Yeah.
Totally understandable. You're going to miss story shit. And the same concept kind of goes with this. Is like, if you want to explore Division, don't explore Division with a group of people because it's just, it's really stifling.
Well, that's how I felt whenever, as a group, whenever we were playing Anthem. Like, lately I've been playing Anthem by myself. And it's kind of fun because I don't feel like I'm slowing everyone down because I have to go and talk to 10 people in Fort Tarsus.
Yeah, in Anthem's case, though, that's just bad. It's bad.
It
game
is bad
design.
It's bad game design, but like, man, like the conversations that I have with people in Fort Tarsus, like it's so enjoyable.
It's fun stuff. It's fun BioWare stuff, but
it slows it down when you're playing with people.
You can't do that with a game that you want to be focused on multiplayer.
Yep.
You just can't.
Yeah.
Like doing that stuff by myself was fun, and then playing in a group and like free play was very fun.
Yeah.
And it kind of sounds like it'd be the same thing. Like solo, get to go and explore.
Yeah. So far, what's really hooking me is the loot, the sheer amount of loot that they're showering on you. The fact that everything looks different. Because you have your base like clothes, you have some jeans and maybe a t-shirt. But every time I change loot, like every backpack looks completely different. The guns look fucking amazing. If you're anywhere near interested in guns, this game's just super fucking cool with all the mods and the different type of muzzles you can put on. Different different magazines, underbarrels, scopes, freaking, it's great.
That is one thing I miss from Anthem too. Like
Is
as you're
there
leveling
real,
up,
like,
you're just
yeah,
not.
yeah, sure.
You look the same
Yeah.
if you're not changing your appearance.
And then, just like I said, for me, the hook of this game is just, I love the story of the Division. I think it's awesome. I love the callbacks to Division 1 that I keep finding in random places. Nobody knows who this is unless you play Division 1, but you find voice recordings from Aaron Keener, which is just fucking... It's just what is he doing in DC? It's like all these questions start popping up, and it's great.
I'm sure if I played the first one, I'd be like, "Whoa, mind blown!"
Aaron Keener is extremely important in the Division mythos, but the fact that you find shit from him in Washington DC is pretty interesting. So it's neat. Cool. Anyway, I like it. I'm sure we'll talk about it a ton more next week, just because we'll all play it.
I'm probably gonna get it next week, but yes,
yeah, it's just fun. I love it. It's good shit.
Yeah,
cool.
All right, guys, we got to get ready for D&D.
Yeah, let's go play D&D.
All right, if you guys like what we do, please rate, review, subscribe to us on all your favorite podcasting platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, Google Play Store. You can follow the show on Twitter at Twin Stick Radio or on Facebook at facebook.com/Twin Stick Radio. I am at Darth Trey on Twitter. Chris is at Shortchangeo with the 3 instead of the E in Hero. And Justin is at Justin T. Lopez. Make sure you send lots of love through the universe to our producer and editor, Everett Jordan. And our theme song is by Connor Manning. Follow him on Twitter at Connor13, one in Connor 13 spelled out, and hire him to do your shit at downstreamstudios.com.
Before we go, how come I can't change my name on PlayStation Network yet?
Well, February is a long month.
We're in March.
February's a long month.
Yeah, I was told
funny 'cause
early
it's
2019, and
It's really
early
not a long
2019 is over in like 2 weeks. So
Yeah, you're almost done with the first quarter.
yeah, just saying. Just fucking saying, Shuhei. I know you listen to this. Get on it, you piece of shit.
Wow.
Yikes.
Poor guy.